Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Yes, this fifth day of the week. Until the evening, then tomorrow will be the sixth day of the week. Yes. You say, well, how is it so? Because those of us who understand and know, we know that the first day is the day of the new moon. It varies from place to place, where it might be the fifth day today here, it might be the sixth day in Africa. That's the way it goes. The sun rises. I mean, if the earth was flat, we'd all be in the same day. I guess, but I'm not going to argue that point because it's useless. But nevertheless, we're in Isaiah chapter 22, the book of Isaiah chapter 22, yes. And you're walking with Mr. Clay. I'm Mr. Clay. And on today, we see that many blessings are headed our way on the continent. We see that they are starting to come to their senses. The Most High is opening the minds of people. Now, still in the U.S., we still are left to confusion for many as to really who we are, where we come from, because this thing was made by design. Yes. Some have a point, some are just confused. They don't know. Some are very negative in the sense that how can we find out who we are, or can you verify that you were such and such? Not in a negative way, but in a way of helpfulness. There's a way to do things. Yes, there is. You say you're an Israelite. The thing is research, prove it. Go back into your history. Go into the archives of United States Census. Do something. Just to say I am because I am a certain color doesn't validate what you say. And then if grandma tell you that much, then grandma was told by who? Who told you this, grandma? Or who told you this, mama? Well, who told her? How was this information passed down? Was it through the mother or was it through the father? You have to understand that the lineage of the Israelites comes through the father. The seed of the father. We don't care about the rest of the world and what they think. But this is the way that is put through historical accounts. That is a true statement. Now, if your father was an Israelite, you're an Israelite. That's just the way it goes. That's the way God had put it. A woman can only she can bear many nations, but a man can only bear one. Only one seed from his father to him, to his son, is that seed. If the woman chooses to claim that seed, she will marry within her tribe, her nation, her people. Yes, but if she chooses to go elsewhere, then she becomes a part of that nation through her commitment to that man or that marriage, as far as its legality. But anyway, we're in Isaiah chapter 22. We understand that throughout the history and reading from the very first books of this Bible, that even from the first man, what was it that the Most High wanted from mankind? It's all written in the commandments, should I say. He says, now look, you only have one God. I'm only one. There is no one beside me. There's no, in the beginning was the Word. There is nothing. The Most High is the Word. The Most High puts forth the Word. The vibration comes from the Most High, even the I Am, as the Most High said that the Most High is unto Moses. The I am that I am, says the Most High. Yes, I am that I am. Tell the children I am that I am have sent thee. Hear, O Israel, the I am thy God is one God. There is nobody else. Yes, the I Am have created other spirits. Yes, that's true. Spirits whether to do evil, spirits whether to do good because of what? The transgressions of man have caused the Most High to bring forth these spirits to try to get the mankind to come to repentance. But that don't seem as though it worked, because what happened, thou shalt have no other gods before me. What did they do in the days before Noah entered the ark? They had other gods, stupid gods. I mean, you could have had Mickey Mouse as a god. We don't know. He could have been a god back then. But the fact is that they had other gods before the Most High. They made images to bow down to as gods, images that could not move, being representative of their gods that they have chosen. And then they went on, they committed adultery, they lied to you. The way it was how you reverenced God and honored God and how you dealt with your neighbor. This was the whole world at that time. Then they went beyond the flood and still did the same old thing. Mankind. But then we get to the choosing of Abram. Abram saw that his father's image was silly. They neither speak, they could not see, they could not eat. He spoke to them, they would not speak back. And he thought that was wrong. Many times, even it's written in the book of Jubilees that even Nimrod tried to execute Abram, but his father still loved his son. So then Abraham prayed the prayer as we would pray. He says, deliver me from the hands of evil spirits who have swayed the thoughts of men's hearts. And let them not lead me astray from thee, my God. Establish thou me and my seed that we go not astray henceforth and forever. That's found in Jubilees chapter 12 and verse 20. Yes, Abraham went on, and God chose Abraham and Abraham's seed, and the seed was small, so therefore there was more control. And those who followed Abraham were even subject to the law, statutes, and commandments that were given them at that time. On through Isaac and the people that had joined themselves to him to make a living, to have families and all of that, through the work they did for Isaac. They were not slaves, no. And then you had Jacob, who paid the bride price in how he worked for the father of Leah and Rachel. Yes, that was bride price, but they were virgins. Some of you tribes in Africa, if you hear me or not, your bride price is, the man pays for a bride price, he pays bribery, he pays abomination, because the fact is he pays for sin, because the man that laid with that woman, your daughter, woman or man, and then the woman who laid, you've stolen something, you gave away something that was valuable out of your ignorance and your foolishness. Some of you were not so fortunate in that the thing that we will not mention has happened to you. Yes, we understand that. But for the rest, you've given away something very precious, and that was your womb to a foolish kid or to a foolish old man for some money or something. Yes, you did, because you were poor. Why not just die in honor instead of dying in filth and foolishness? So this is what we did during those times. And now we get up to the point where the Most High, so he chose Jacob and the children of Jacob just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. He knew their hearts, that their hearts were evil, always swayed towards something new or something different, or something that they would deem not boring or to what they're liking. And now they get to this point right here in Isaiah chapter 22 and verse 1. The bird in the valley of vision. What aileth thee now that thou art wholly gone up to the housetops, In other words, the housetop was where they had a good time. They sun, they bathed, it was protection. You can see enemies coming near and far. They went on the rooftops. He says, now, thou art full of stirs, a tumultuous city, a joyous city, slain. Many are not slain with the sword, nor dead in battle. But what? You're foolish, is what he's saying. All thy rulers are fled together. They are bound by the archers. All that are found in thee are bound together, which have fled from far. Look at what's going on. You having a party. Therefore said I, look away from me. Don't even look at me. I will weep bitterly, labor not to comfort me. Because he's looking at the children of Israel and he's saying that you are the apple of the I am's eye. You are the one that the Most High have favored through your father Abram, even unto Isaac and Jacob, to even cultivate a seed that would love the I am and obey that which is right. The I am doesn't think like we do. That's why it's so important that we understand and know the I am, and the more I am makes it plain throughout the writings. He took the heathen by the nose and made them write down these things. Not everything in these books are wrong. Most of them are right. But then he said, if you do this, I'm going to blind you. I'm going to make you forget me. And this is what has happened to many even to this day. He says, therefore I said, look away from me. In verse, should I say 5? For it is a day of trouble. He's prophesying now. Of treading down, of perplexity by the I am God of hosts. In the valley of vision, breaking down walls, and of crying to the mountains. Oh, this is where they cried out. Oh, we got something else here, y'all. Hang on, hold on, wait a minute. Crying to the mountains. Would that be something part of what the Revelation says? They went into the caves of the mountains and said, fall on us, hide us from him. Couldn't this be just fixing it up? They already got the other part. Babylon is fallen. They got some other parts out of this book. And then they start add more to the book of Revelation. Oh, it's really cunning, very cunning. And Elam bare the quiver with chariots of men and horsemen, and Ker uncovered the shield. In other words, they're ready to go to battle. And it shall come to pass that in thy choice valley shall be full of chariots, and the horsemen shall set themselves in array at the gate. And he discovered the covering of Judah. Yes, this is about Judah. And thou didst look in that day to the armor of the house of the forest. Ye have seen also in the breaches of the city of David that they are many. Forest? That land is desert. How is there forest? You have to remember, it wasn't always desert in that part of the country. That place is desert because of the curse. Now, and it's a literal curse that sits before us every day before our eyes, and you say, show me proof of the I am. Go to Sahara Desert. Go to the Middle East. Yes, the Most High has mercy in those nations that live there, and now they're able still to grow. The Most High is most merciful, but he still did not allow the land to recover fully. He says now, yea, ye have seen the breaches of the city of David. The walls are broken down. This is what he's saying, that they are many. This is what we're talking about. This is why Nehemiah, this is why Ezra, all of them had to go back and rebuild because of this that has happened. Yes, you have to realize this. You're being bamboozled with these sayings into making this Jesus and this New Testament seem though it's valid. It's good. I mean, it's very good. People that say they have college degrees in lies is what they have. College degrees in lies. I mean, looking straight at the book, you say, well, historically, can I comprehend this with all the degrees and PhDs you got in religion and you still a fool? Come on here. Ye have numbered the houses of Jerusalem, and the houses ye have broken down to fortify the wall. Ye made the ditch between the two walls for the water of the old pool, but ye have not looked down unto the maker. Ye have not looked unto the maker thereof, neither had respect unto him that fashioned it long ago. In other words, why didn't you pray? Why didn't you look up or look around and direct your prayer toward the I am? And say, help us to repair this. We want to repair this. But what did you do? He said, you have not looked to the maker. You made a ditch between the two walls for the water of the old pool. In other words, this is the pool that is right there that they washed before they went into the temple. There were two pools, one for the men and one for the women. And they would get in it and wash, just for that day's worship. Some of them would wash because they were unclean, and they would be unclean until the even. Water is cleansing. Yes, it is. Even everything inside the human body is water soluble. Yes, your blood is water soluble. If your flesh stays in water long enough, it will disintegrate. It will blow up and dissolve. Yes. Now, he says, so you made a ditch between the two walls for the water of the old pool, but you have not looked unto the maker thereof, neither had respect unto him that fashioned it long ago. In other words, I gave it. I gave the plans unto your king David. I gave the plan. He gave that mandate to his son Solomon. But yet you don't understand this. You take it as some Isis or something like that, which is not so. And behold, joy and gladness, slaying oxen and killing sheep, eating flesh and drinking wine. Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we shall die. This is where that saying comes from that you hear in them say, let's eat, drink, and be merry. They got it from this. Yes. And truly, tomorrow they will die. It was revealed in my ears that the I am of hosts, surely this iniquity shall not be purged from you till you die, saith the I am God of hosts. Host of what? Host of angels. Host of everything that's around you. God of hosts, period. Even though it's Old English. Now, he's talking to Judah. In other words, you're going to be purged. All of you are going to die. You're going to live somewhere else. You're going to be carried away. Is what's going to happen. And in verse 15, he says, thus saith the I am God of hosts, go get thee unto this treasurer, even unto Shebna, which is over the house, and say, what hast thou here? Shebna was a treasurer. Okay, we got that. Whom hast thou here? That thou hast hewed thee out a sepulchre here, as he has hewn him out a sepulchre on high, that graveth an habitation for himself in the rock. Behold, the I am will carry thee away with a mighty captivity, and surely cover thee. In other words, you're not going to lay in that grave that you built for yourself. See, you have to understand the thinking of, in the United States and Eastern countries, we made to fear death. Some of you have gotten to the point where you don't even want to get life insurance because you are so superstitious and religiously superstitious to the point where you say, well, if I get life insurance, I got to die. If I buy a grave plot, I'm gonna die soon. You're gonna die anyway. Why not have someplace so people don't have to take the burden of trying to figure it out? All right. Now, they had the mentality that I want a sepulcher. I want a place where my body can be stored. While I yet live, I know that it will be so, and these people will carry it out. This is why you buy grave plots. This is why you do those things. This is why you dig a hole in the backyard and you're on your own land and fence it off and cover it up until the time. Yes. And give your instructions to your relatives, your children, or what have you, to bury you there and your spouse if need be. Now, he says this. He says, now, you're not going to die where you have made, you say you're going to be here. You're not going to die here. Okay, we're in verse 18. He will surely turn and toss thee like a ball into a large country. Where is that? Babylon. And then where is it after that? Persia, the Medes. And there shalt thou die, and there the chariots of thy glory shall be the shame of thy owner's house. That's what the Lord's supposed to mean. Yeah, it is. And it shall come to pass in that day I will call my servant Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah. Now you got those back in the, you have it in the book of Kings. During the time of Ahab, he was the high priest. And I will clothe him with thy robe and strengthen him with thy girdle. And I will commit thy government to his hand. Eliakim the priest. Yes. Okay, I believe that's Eliakim. If I got it right. If not, correct me. I have to go back and look at that. I didn't look up Eliakim. But either way, read it many times. But either way, here we go again. And I will commit thy government into his hands, and he shall be a father to the inhabitants of Jerusalem and to the house of Judah. Wow. In other words, you built your grave. I'm going to take you away, and I'm going to give your things to another man. The son of Hilkiah. Hilkiah. Yeah, Hilkiah. Yes, I'm going to give it to him because you're foolish. And the key of the house of David I will lay upon his shoulder, so he shall open and none shall shut. This is what he's saying. And he shall shut and none shall open. And I will fasten him as a nail in a sure place, and he shall be for a glorious throne to his father's house. Now you have the Good News Bible that says a wall, a nail, or something like that. But a nail in a sure place was basically what, should I say, Isaac used to his son. It was an allegory that, or a parable that Isaac left to his son in the book of Jubilees when he rode upon the horse, and Isaac heard his son's wife, even Esau's wife, curse him in front of her children, his children. And he gave her this parable and said, you know, as a nail in a sure place. And that saying was taught unto Esau, and he understood when his father said that, he knew that his wife was no good, and that's what his father was telling him. And so Esau, I believe, took his children and got rid of that wife and went on about his merry way to his father's house. Yes. Read that. I believe it's in the book of Jubilees. Now, he says, fasten him as a nail, as a tent peg in a sure place. If you don't put a tent peg in a nice solid ground where it just holds, regardless of wind and rain, it's not going to hold up long. He shall be for a glorious throne to his father's house. Yes. Who was his father? Even David. And they shall hang him upon the glory of his father. They shall hang him upon him the glory of his father, and he shall be king. That's what he's saying. The offspring issue all vessels of small quantity, from the vessels of cups even unto all the vessels of flagons. In that day shall the I am of hosts shall the nail that is fastened in the sure place be removed. In other words, Hilkiah, the son of Hilkiah, shall be removed. It's what he's saying. It shall go. You can read this in 1st and 2nd Kings, and 1st and 2nd Chronicles, or 2nd Chronicles, 2nd Kings. Yes, it's all, the story is there, or the Chronicles are there. Yes, he said they shall be removed, even to all the vessels of flagon. How did this happen? You have to realize when the king of Babylon came, what happened? He was shown everything in the house of the I Am, and throughout the house of David, where his son was. And the prophet came by and said, you shouldn't have done that. Now everything you have shall be taken by the king of Babylon. And so it was. Now in that day, said the I Am of hosts, shall the nail that is fastened in the sure place be removed, and be cut down and fall, and the burden that was upon it shall be cut off, for the I Am has spoken it. In other words, the king is going to fall, is what he's saying. He's given this because of what? Sin. Transgression against the law, which is true. Transgression against the law. Disobedience against the law. Reneging on the covenant that your ancestors have given. That's what he's talking about. And if we keep those things that are right before the Most High, and keeping his statutes, commandments, ordinances, and laws, can never get enough of this. Can never get enough of this. It's been preached and proclaimed and shown throughout millenniums. The ills of Judah and Israel, the ills of the children of Jacob, the true children of Jacob, is because of this. Disobedience and not adhering, and idolatry through your Christianity, your Islam, and all this other mess, instead of following the first and foremost, and that's the laws, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High. Yes, we will get to the sacrifices when the Most High is ready, but what will you do with the ones that you can do? What will you do with them? And will you do it from your heart? And that is just, they're real easy. The commandments are real easy. You eat right, you live right, and you keep God first. And if we do these things by the measure that the Most High have given us, even the law, statutes, commandments, and ordinances of the Most High, we will have peace.